Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to see some of the new import and export features which have been added to data entity module. In one of my past videos on the AgilePoint NX version 8.0 series, you saw that how we can take an existing Excel sheet, import it within AgilePoint data entity module, and a new data entity gets created from it. I could further keep adding the records back into the data entity using an Excel sheet template. However, the scenario over here is that now that I have this data entity with data, I want to move it from development to production environment. So if I go to data entity over here and go to the list of entities, I have two entities, a customer entity and an order management entity. This is a master detail kind of a thing where customer is the parent table and order management is the child table. I have this set up right now over here, and as you can see, there are these three rows which are available. Now what I can do is I can go over here and say export entity model, and now there is a switch over here called export with data. Previously, we used to support this only for XML and JSON. Now, and support for Excel has been added as well. So I can click on export as Excel. Similarly, if I go to the child entity, I can do the same thing, export with data in an Excel format. So if you look at this Excel, what you see is it carries the entire metadata, the properties of that column, its indexes, and the records with it. So now assuming I go back to the list of entities, now assuming this was my production environment where these entities do not exist. So let me delete this. And I'm going to go ahead and delete these two. So now that the entities are deleted, it is acting like a fresh production environment. I'm going to go over here and say import template, select a file. I can select my entity which I exported, the Excel sheet, say import. If you look at it over here, it has all the fields maintained, and if I go to the data and hit a refresh, all my records are present as well. Similarly, if I go back and import the child entity, which is order management, again all the fields are there. If I go to the data, I can see the records, and if I go to the relationship tab, it maintains the relationship as well. So as I mentioned in past video, what you saw was I don't have an entity, I have a structure in Excel and I can import it uh, and create a new entity out of it. What you saw today was that you can move entity from one environment to another in form of an Excel in addition to JSON and XML. So now with these two, one of the other capabilities what we have added is the capability of doing bulk export as well. So for example, there an application can have multiple entities with it, right? And you want to move all of them together in form of a schema. So you can select multiple of these. You can go over here. There's a new option called bulk export. Please note that bulk export only supports XML or JSON format because in Excel it can become quite complex to manage so many tabs. So I can just say export as JSON. So I get a JSON file. Now I'm again going to delete these two. Now as you can see, these two got deleted, and if I go and say import template and I select the JSON file which I exported and click on import, it creates both the entities, the customer and order management, and it could have been more of course, in one single shot. So if I go over here, you can see both the entities got created. Please note that this is for schema bulk export only. I can cannot export data along with these. If I have to export data, I can either go inside and move the data individually as a JSON or as a separate file. The reason is because in bulk, there can be a lot of entities, and each of these entities can have thousands of records, and it would become a very bulky and long running operation. So that's why we say if you want to move the data in bulk, then it should be done as a separate file or a separate operation. Okay, so this is for schema bulk export and import. Similarly, on the pick list side, if I go to the pick list option over here, you see there are two custom pick lists right now. I'm going to go to the menu and say import pick list. Now it supports importing a pick list in form of an Excel. So as you can see, it imported the pick list along with the pick list items, and the Excel looks. So there's a pick list metadata and the pick list items. You don't need to remember these. If you go to the menu over here, you can always export the pick list in form of an Excel. So it gives you the structure. Now I have three pick lists over here. Next would be the bulk operation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of these three and say bulk export in form of a JSON file. The same concept holds good over here as well. And I'm going to clean it up. I'm going to again simulate an environment where these do not exist. I'm going to delete these. Now once my pick list have been deleted. So suppose this was a production environment and I'm importing it for the first time. I can go over here, say import pick list, select the file, and as you can see, all the three pick lists got created again. So with this, you can do bulk operations. You can also use Excel format to move pick list as well as data entities from one environment to another, and also combine them as a bulk operation. Thanks a lot for your time.